Hello, this is Raul Mosley, the founder and director of the Fort Worth Portrait Project, and I want to welcome you to this first video episode of the project. I've been doing the project since 2014 and have been fortunate to feature hundreds of people, organizations, and events as a way to celebrate Fort Worth. When I first moved here just 2 years ago, I knew only 2 people in town, so it's been a fun journey for me to explore Fort Worth and to meet so many people. But this is just a start for me. I plan to continue the project for about the next 30 years or however much time I have left and continue to unpack interesting stories about interesting people here in our town. So the next step in the Fort Worth Portrait Project is to add this video element. Up to this point, most everything I've done has been on the Facebook page of the Fort Worth Portrait Project or on the website, which is www.fortworthportraitproject.com, and I would invite you to check those out as well. When I first started thinking about doing video for the Fort Worth Portrait Project, I thought about doing a vlog, which is a video blog, but those tend to be fairly informal, so I decided to do something a bit different, and I wanted to have the key elements of the portrait project reflected in the videos. So I came up with the structure that you see up above that represent the themes of the project itself. And at the beginning of each video, what you'll find is an opening graphic with these buttons on the top highlighted if I talk about that particular area. So for example, the first one is L, which is leadership. And leadership is going to be a central theme to the Fort Worth Portrait Project. I want to explore leaders who are making a change in our community in many different ways, in addition to exploring leadership principles. So when you see that L, that purple L illuminated on the front opening graphic of any video, you know that there will be a segment featuring leadership in Fort Worth. The C is for communication. I, in my past life, have been a full-time instructor in speech communication at the college level, did that for 16 years. So I've got a PhD in speech communication from Purdue University, and I would love to share some of that content as it relates to real-world situations here on this project as well. The P stands for portraits, which is central to the Fort Worth Portrait Project. So it'll be small features about individual people, who they are, and what their passions are here in Fort Worth. Now the BP stands for blue pages, and that's like the yellow pages, but it's blue pages. It's for the Fort Worth Portrait Project's organizations. So it could be a nonprofit organization or it could be a profit organization, anywhere from a bank to the art museum for that matter. So those will be featured there. FW, the red icon, stands for Fort World. And this is one of the most exciting parts of the project, I believe, long term, because it explains globalization in very personal terms. It looks at people in Fort Worth who have connections all around the planet. And hopefully I can find people around the planet who have connections here to Fort Worth. So that's a project that will be built up over the next few decades. The PH represents photography. A lot of people follow the Fort Worth Portrait Project because they enjoy seeing the photos and are interested in photography. So I'll put a few photography segments in the video series here and there. The EV stands for events. So if you looked at the opening slide for this particular video, that was the only element that was highlighted. And that means that that's the only part of the project that I'll feature in this particular video. The M is for media consumption. I could use a better title for this, I suppose. But I read a lot of stuff, a lot of reports, and I would love to summarize some of that information and share that with you. Content that's relevant to Fort Worth and to North Texas. And then finally, the V stands for the video blog or the vlog. That comes after everything else, and so it's kind of after the video itself has finished. But if you want to stick around and see some informal footage of whatever's going on, such as the batch of weather that's supposed to move in tomorrow, I'll probably have some footage of that I capture and just share informally in the vlog section. So that's an overview of the organization of the video episodes that I plan to roll out on a regular basis, hopefully every day, but we'll see how my schedule is able to accommodate this project. Okay, I would like to feature a couple of events that I was able to attend this weekend. And the first one is the Air Power Expo, which was at the Joint Reserve Base here in Fort Worth. And I decided to park on Buda and the Northwest Center Road off of 820. If you look on the map, you can see the runway of the Joint Reserve Base in green. And then above that, there's a fuchsia circle. That's where I parked. It's a wonderful place to view the air show. You can see interesting signs like this one about the Fort Worth citrus industry. Who knew? And you could also see fascinating people. Lots of people were camped out with tents and SUVs. It was kind of a cool place. And then there was this guy who had a body in the back of his truck. Kind of made me wonder. But nonetheless, it's also a fairly good place to view the planes in the air show, including the Blue Angels, who were in the air, thankfully, after being shut down in 2013 due to budget issues. And then there's Fat Albert, which is the plane that accompanies the Blue Angels. Okay, here's a few other shots from the show. And I just want to say that the best place to watch the air show is probably on the air base itself. So if you were out on the fringes like I was, you miss a lot of stuff. You miss the announcers who are telling you what you're actually seeing in the air. And more importantly, you miss the ceremonies that honor our military veterans. So it's a lot like licking a lollipop with the wrapper on if you're not there. It's close, but it's just not the same. All right, the second event was a fundraising event called the StoryLand Dinner and Auction Fundraiser that was held for the Fortress Youth Development Center. And this year's event was held at 809 Vickery, which is a wonderful event venue on the near south side. After a dinner and a program led by the wonderful Stacy Kokor, there was a live auction. So they had lots of wonderful things auctioned off, and I hope that the organization was able to meet their fundraising goals. That's important because the Fortress Youth Development Center really does a lot to supplement education here in our city. So here's a few shots of the table decorations. As a wedding photographer, I always love capturing these types of decorative shots. And each table had a different theme, and each table played a different role in the fundraising efforts of the night. Here's a couple of other random shots. At the end of the reception room, there was light that poured through a window in the late afternoon, creating this interesting reflection on the wall. And as I was walking back to my car, I noticed one of the dippers, small dipper, big dipper, I don't know, but it was in the night sky over the Magnolia Lofts on Vickery. And if you look up on the right-hand side of the picture up in the sky, you might be able to make out that dipper. Anyway, I've linked to all the photos from that event on the Facebook page for the Fort Worth Portrait Project. Okay, I want to leave you with a picture of the day that also has a video to follow. And this is Officer Rusty Wingate and his horse Ringo from the Tarrant County Sheriff's Department. They're one of 3 horse teams who go around the county and round up stray cattle and livestock and the sort. Cool thing. So here is a short video that I shot with my cell phone featuring some of the fans at the air show who attempted to give Ringo a drink with a bottle of cold water. Thank you for watching this first episode, and I hope to see you here back soon. Thanks.
Ooh, that's cold! It's cold water. Look at it, it's cold. He's like, I don't know about that. If you have to be gentle, if he doesn't want it, don't force him. Tip it upward if you get it in there.
Get it in his mouth, squeeze real hard. Who knew that could be so funny, huh?